this video is about, it's about complex PTSD, and it's about how we respond to situations in the now based on our past memory, either recall or we don't know, or it's just feeling. So often we won't know sometimes whether what we're experiencing, whether it's really something to do with what's going on in the now, or whether it's attached to something that's happened in the past. And it's really important that we get to a point of maybe being the observer of ourselves in order to heal complex PTSD, because triggers, clearly, some people are not going out of their way to trigger us, but things do just trigger us. And I'll give you an example. There's something from my childhood that one of my parents owned. It was a ball, it was a globe of the world. And I walked into a building a couple of weeks ago, and this globe, not that globe, but a globe that, you know, as a piece of equipment, reminded me of my history, where I'd come from, which was very uncomfortable, and it put me into a triggered state. So some anger came up and some feelings of being uncomfortable and feeling like I needed to get out of there. So if I could have taken a moment and realized that I was having a flashback, then I could look at that event and see that I wasn't under attack at that point. And when we can begin to see that not everything is happening to us on purpose, it's just that the amygdala is having a memory recall and the body is going into a reaction which we don't need to do as adults, that we need to learn that we are safe and we need to be able to resolve the flashbacks. A great thing to do is to write down a list of the worst of worst memories. In fact, just to verbally ventilate and articulate and sit with ourselves and journal on the things that hurt us. And then we begin to, you know, release ourselves from the grip of the past. And that is what we are here to do when we're healing, to release that grip so that we can move forward in life and start having a better time, even a good time, and a fantastic time. And it takes work and it takes time. And often, you know, what I do now, if I have some sadness come up, as an example, if I have sadness in me, I acknowledge it. I say, okay, I'm feeling sad. In the past, I would have felt sad and it would have lasted for days on end. But the minute we can say, like you would with a child, if you see a child is feeling sad or they've been hurt, you nurture them. And that is the job that we have to do with ourselves as adults in order to begin to recover from complex PTSD. And if you don't know the difference between PTSD and complex PTSD, PTSD is generally a one-off event that completely freaks you out, and you're going back to that memory, fear and whatever happened, and remembering it. With complex PTSD, it's generally stuff that's gone on for a long period of time, generally over childhood, and as a result of that, we sometimes don't know, it's not something we're seeing. It can be various ways that we're processing it. It could be through the feeling senses, it could be through smells, it could be through things that were said to us, the tonality of a voice. So we can get to a point where we're balanced. I don't see people and myself as having a disorder as such. I do know it was a response for me to, you know, complex PTSD response to things that were going on in my life. So we can be aware, we can soften the blow and begin to step forward. And I'm here to help people do that. I have my letting go techniques, Penelope Ryder letting go techniques. Everything will be below this video. And you can check me out. I make videos at regular intervals. And if you need to message me or you want to book a session, my prices are over on my page as well. I mentor, so that means that we really get to grips with your life. You know, we put your cards on the table, so to speak, and we begin to formulate some sort of vision or plan for the future so that you've got something to work towards, and that we begin to look at the past, clean that up, and bring the now into balance. So knowing as well that life is part suffering and part absolutely beautiful and joyous, and when we've got tools, we can ride the wave a lot easier. Okay, thanks for watching. Thank you.